Hey yarn friends, welcome back to LlamaMamaKayla's Yarn Tube. So today I am showing you that I'm working with this yarn that I bought this summer. It's a Yarn Bee. It was a new thing that came out this summer that I had purchased, and it is a #1 yarn. Way too fine of a yarn for me to be working with, whether loom knitting, running it through the 8R, trying to crochet with it. It's very soft yarn, and so I do like that about it, and I guess that's why I bought it. But I wasn't, really considering what am I going to make with this #1 yarn. But it is very super soft. It'd be a fine lightweight yarn. My guess would it would make a very nice shawl or some kind of wrap. But so I'm just gonna try it today. Yeah, it was $7.99, but I did get it on sale. I think it was a 30% off day when I went, and so yeah, I just want to open this up, and I'm gonna run it through my Addi machine and see how that works, and make up a scarf or something with it. So here. I'm telling you about the Addi Express, Addi Pro. This is a small Addi knitting machine. I have the large machine and the small machine, and I use them both a lot. And so I'm not even going to worry about the counter. This machine does have a counter on it. I'm not going to worry about that because I'm just going to wind until all the yarn is used. And this machine, if you don't know anything about it, it does have a switch where you can make it where it's tube, where it goes all the way around, or you can make it where it goes back and forth. It makes a flat panel, but I am going to use it in the tube motion to go all the way around, and then just keep cranking it out until I use up all the yarn. So I'm not going to use the yarn in the place it was on the card. I am going to put a lighter color in between each color, so we'll just see how that works out. So to thread the Addi machine, I put it on this little clip thing to kind of hold that yarn down, and then you crank it going around every other needle you go in front of or behind till you get to the back to the beginning, and then you put it in that carriage, pull out some yarn, and then you just start cranking, and you have to go really slow at the beginning, and let it get make sure all the needles catch, and then you can go faster. And please note that I'm really not spinning that fast. The video's sped up a little, but the yarn is hung up, so I'm not going to be able to maybe use it in this machine. I don't know. I usually give yarn a couple of tries before I deem it not compatible with a machine, because these machines sometimes do get picky about what yarns they like. So I'm going to try to get it off these needles, and then I might give it one more try to see if it will straighten up and act right. Sometimes little things happen, and trying to pick it off of these little teeth without breaking the little plastic teeth. Try to be very careful with my Addi machines. And I know this is probably getting off camera there a little bit, but I'm kind of more worried about doing it easy and protecting my teeth on the machine than having it in the screenshot there. But it's still hung up. It's just not wanting to let loose of this yarn. So there's just a little problem in there somewhere. Sometimes it takes a little work, but we'll figure it out. Alright, it's just going to take that yarn right off the machine. And then let's give it one more try, because sometimes it does that, and then I'll try again and it'll work perfect. So you just never can tell. And I usually do give yarns 3 tries before I deem it not compatible. So let's just give it another whirl and see how it does. Let's see. Looks like it's working out to be just a very fine yarn. And so whoa, I tell you what, it's a lot of work winding this thing out. It's like a workout in your arm. Like, my arm should be like Popeye's. Yeah, it'll wear you out. Normally when I'm making something, I might crank out 10-15 rows and then do a few stitches on a loom, work on another project, and then go back to this. So I'm not just sitting there cranking the whole time trying to crank out a large project. So the Addi machine the small Addi did not work. So I went ahead and put it on the large machine, and it's worked up beautifully on there. So here I've cranked out that first color, and I need to tie it to the next color. So tie it off there a little bit. And then at the end, I turn it wrong side out and tie all these little knots better. They're just kind of get them secure so my yarn catches in there for now. And so I'm just going to crank out all of the different colors on this machine. And so the small Addi didn't care for this yarn, but the large Addi's doing fine with it. So you just can't never tell. I think I have just a few more balls of this yarn left. So I'm just cranking it out. Cranking away. Now I've changed to the dark purple and just pulling the center up a little bit so that it's not so much on the desk under it. These colors all look lovely together. I love how it's working up to be these different block colors. So I think I have 3 more balls of yarn after this one. And yes, it is pretty much a workout winding these machines. So now I've left a tail. I've finished off all the balls and I left a tail so that I can thread that tail on a tapestry needle and then just go around and pop off all the stitches on each needle. And I know my hands are in the way, so you probably can't see very well, but I'm just going under the stitch and popping it off of those teeth onto the needle and then running it down through the needle, the yarn there. And what that does is pulls it all on that strand of yarn, and then it creates like a draw pull. So it's very easy to take off. It just takes a few minutes to get all the way around this large machine. Almost back to the beginning. And I know you can't really see the stitches that well. I'll see if I can't you know, show you from a different angle there, or try to get my hands out of the way a little bit so you can see. But anyway, just slipping that under the stitch and pulling it on. And now I have the whole project off of the machine. You can see it turned out to be a very long piece. So let me untangle it because it's all twisted up. I'm going to turn the whole thing wrong side out so that I can tie off those ends better in there. So I just untie the little loose knot that I created and then pull that tight to tighten up the stitches. Right now it's loose and it would be a little gap in there. So tying those off and then just clip off the endings, because all this will be on the inside and you won't see those, so they don't have to be weaved in or anything like that. So at each color change there's going to be 2 strands that need to be tightened and retied tighter. And then I just clip off the extra of the ends. So, I think that's about all the ends. Oh, no, there's one more. So let me get that here, and then I'll just turn it from the other side and get the other end. Excuse me. So I have all the ends tied off tighter and clipped. So now I have to decide what I'm going to do with these ends to connect them. I could take it and sew all the little loops together and make it one round continuous infinity scarf, but this is for me and it's my personal project, and so I think I'm just going to drawstring them off. But right here I think I have a dropped stitch runner there, so I need to fix that. And I can fix that with a crochet hook. I do have a tutorial on my YouTube to fix that, and so actually I think I need to go rewatch my tutorial so that I can remember exactly how to do that. I'll give it a try, but I think I'm going to have to go and watch it. Yeah, I don't really remember how to do it. Yeah, I'm not doing it correct, I can tell. But, I'm going to go watch the tutorial so that I can do that correctly and fix it where you can't even tell that it was a drop stitch. And then what I'm going to do is just tie up those ends, drawstring them up, and sew them together. Okay, so I watched the tutorial and I fixed my stitch, and you cannot even tell it was a drop stitch there. So I just drawstring the ends up, and I'm just tying them off and doing that several times, and then pulling it through the middle and just clipping it off. Then I'm just gonna do the same thing with both of them together. You can see there that you can't even tell there was a drop stitch. So I'm going to thread up my needle and get this end good and tied off. And now I'm just going to do the same thing and just sew them both together right there at the very middle. Get them tied off good, and then I'll do a little bit on the edge there so it's a little more secure and looks a little better. If I were doing this as a gift for someone, I would have done the ends differently together, but I know that that part right there is going to be behind my hair, and so this will be fine for me. I am sewing it a little extra just to give it more security, because I do want it to last. Just about done. I think that'll do it. Okay, so I finished the infinity scarf. It turned out to be a very long infinity scarf. I have it wrapped around me twice, but it could easily wrap around twice. I mean, 3 times, if not 4 times. But right now, it's hot in here and I am dying with it just wrapped around twice like this. So I can't really put it all up around my neck. Anyway, that yarn worked up very lovely. It is so very, very soft, delicate feeling, and just incredible feeling. Actually, that yarn would work up to make a lovely shawl if someone was looking to make a lightweight shawl with something with, you know, a lot of drape. That yarn would work up wonderful for that. I knew I wasn't going to make a shawl with a #1 yarn, so I just cranked it out and made this infinity scarf. But I will tell you that Phoebe has about ruined it. Her nails catch it and snag it really bad. So this is something that would have to be worn and put on as I walk out the door and taken off before I walk in the door. Because the dogs would just snag it up really, really bad. And I hadn't had any other projects that I felt like the dog snagged up really bad, except this. But anyway, it turned out really nice. Just trying to show you, you know, like, I like the color blocks and how that turned out. So it's really pretty. But I just wanted to share that process with you about, how things are. Let's go back in there. Just so you see, it's right there. Everything is, but